So welcome back everybody, my name is Andrew and you're watching the Kelley's Country Life. And if you're new to the channel, first of all, thank you for stopping by and checking it out. But we've been doing everything house related here lately. We just got done building our custom home here, over 200 videos on the channel of us doing that. So we have been really into house mode on the channel here lately. So what that means is we're still technically building on the house, and it's been a construction zone. You're even going to see tools staged here in the living room. So the house is constantly a mess. It needs a lot of cleaning every single day. So I had a company named Yeedi reach out to me and asked if I would like to try one of their Vac Max robots. I said, well, heck yeah, because we had just bought a very popular brand off of Amazon that had tens of thousands of good reviews, and I must say I'm quite disappointed in its performance here lately. By the way, stay tuned throughout this review. I'm going to tell you a little bit later how to get one of these for free. So long story short, a very popular brand that we purchased off of Amazon. We've all heard the name Yeedi. Well, I've had this particular model right here for a few months and just not been happy. So I decided to jump at the opportunity to review this one from Yeedi. I've had it now for a couple of weeks and I can say it is night and day above that particular model that we've been running. I'm very pleased with it. So what we have today is, well, it's a vacuum robot. We're all getting familiar with these. This little guy runs around anytime you set it or anytime you want it to run. You can put schedules in it, have it clean while you're away at work. But it is basically a robotic vacuum that runs around and cleans your house. And if you'll notice on the bottom of this particular model, it also has a mopping function. So real quick, we'll go ahead and hit on the mopping function. It has a removable tank on the rear that you fill up with water or your mopping fluid. Actually, it recommends that you try to stick with distilled water. So you fill that up. It comes with a mopping pad that you put on the bottom, or it also comes with microfiber pads, so you can basically use it as a Swiffer. So you fill the tank up, you put it in mopping mode on your app. You can set the water level to different adjustments there on how low or high, how much water that you would like for it to dispense. Ultimately, just keeping the pad itself damp, you can determine that. And once in mopping mode, you can have this vacuum or mop or do both at the same exact time. Also, while in mopping mode, you'll notice right here that it can run up to carpet, and it has a sensor on the bottom. And once it senses carpet, it will back off and will not actually get any carpet material damp. By the way, I should also mention, anytime you're running this vacuum just in vacuum mode, you should take the mopping pad off the bottom, especially if it's going to be running across carpet or anything that could catch on to. Now, I will say, keep in mind when I say mopping mode, this is more of a wet Swiffer than anything else. This is not going to replace traditional mopping where you're actually hand scrubbing or using some sort of a mop head attachment on a handle. But what this is very good for is running around on hardwood or laminate floors, cleaning up that last little bit of dirt or dust and debris that will really stick to a damp cloth like this. So speaking of that sensor, there's the sensor on the bottom that detects carpet. It also has a sensor on top, and then you also have your traditional sensors built into the front here. So you always want to make sure that right there is clean. So the one thing I really like about this one, there's all different kinds of models of vac robots out there, all the way from the entry-level ones like the Yeedi that we have that just kind of goes at random. It'll just run around the room, bounce off a few things, sense some things, but it has such an erratic pattern that I find that it never cleans a house well at all, never. So then you go up into models like this, more of your kind of mid-range models. It has a camera on top and it'll actually run around the house and map the house itself out. So Yeedi recommends that once you start this up, you turn all the lights on in the house so it can see where it's going, what it's doing. Let it run around the house 2 or 3 times. And the cool thing about it is it will actually build a map on your app. So this is an app controlled device. There is no remote control like on the Yeedi, for example, but the app is the one thing that I absolutely love about this unit right here. So if you look in the map right there, you can see where it's already mapped our house out. And to keep in mind, again, we're still under construction. We have tools and things staged in the house, so the robot cannot get it everywhere. And you'll notice the different colorations, and it's got areas marked, say where couches are and tools, that it's determined that it cannot go around. But it now has the house mapped out in different zones. So I can go into this map at any point in time, add or take away from it. I can put down boxes and zones that I don't want this to vacuum over, say delicate carpets or rugs, for example, and set a do not go into zone. I really do love that. And the one thing that I really do love about this vacuum right here, it actually runs a pattern back and forth across the floor, covering every square inch. So it will zigzag back and forth. It knows exactly where it's at because of that camera, and it will make for sure that it does not miss a spot. Now that's a problem that I have had with our Eufy. It is not smart at all. No cameras on it, no nothing. So it just runs around the house, and I will catch it cleaning this same spot 5, 6, 8 times. And it tends to want to run to corners, run to rugs, and just kind of keep going in the same area. The cheaper model that we've been running, while yes, it does vacuum up and it does make a difference, it just does not cover every square inch of the house. So because it's running around cleaning so many of the same areas so many times, we find that it cannot vacuum the house on a full charge. And a lot of times it can vacuum 2 or 3 times and still it does not get all the areas in the house. Now the cool thing about the Yeedi right here is it actually knows where it's going, knows what to do, and if you have a larger home than we do, for example, it will run back and charge itself. They can claim up to 200 minutes of runtime. I've actually run this close to an hour and a half, and it cleaned the entire house and never had to go back and charge. It actually completed that. Now our bottom level is 1,500 square foot on this house, so it's a smaller home. But because it knows where it's at, it's mapped your home out. If it needs to run back and charge, it'll start back. There's a function in the app. You can say, hey, resume cleaning where you left off. Once it's charged, it backs itself back out, runs back to that place where it stopped, and continues cleaning the house. That's an awesome feature for no more than this cost. Now then, the sky's the limit on these robots. You can go up with some of the big name brands that start getting into laser and everything else, GPS mapping. They get into some crazy stuff, and those things can be $1,000 plus. After running this one for a couple of weeks and really liking the app, just the vacuum itself, for example, right now I'm seeing it in the 200s online, mid 200s to 300, depending on where you're looking. And then the vac station, I'm seeing somewhere around a couple $100. Now, here's the kicker. If you actually purchase these together as a combo, you're talking $500 something worth of stuff. I'm seeing them right now in the 300s. That's amazing for as advanced as this is. So the cool thing about the vac station, once this guy says, hey, I'm filled up, cannot run any longer, it senses that, it'll run back to the vac station and actually empty itself automatically. You can also turn a setting on in the app, which I have anytime this returns to charge, or if you send it back for whatever reason, I have where this will automatically kick on and empty this so you're fresh, ready to go. Contents are emptied for the next cleaning. Now, if you get just the vacuum and not the dump station, well, all you have to do is lift this lid up. So here it is. It has a filter in the back that you can take out and clean. Looking at it, I definitely need to clean mine, but you see my bin is 100% empty because this vac station has been dumping the contents there. So what's awesome about these is I don't think most people expect a robot to be your true deep clean of a home. Typically, most people do that a few times a month, one time a month with actual hand tools. That's what's gonna really get your house truly clean. What these are awesome for is running around one time a day, picking up that sand, dirt, debris, in my particular instant, paint chips on the floor, sawdust, maybe you've got food, animal spillage, coming out of their food bowl there, all kinds of stuff. So speaking of that, I've actually put this thing through its paces. For typical dust, hair, and lint, it's been awesome. It picks up anything that it goes over. But I actually did a little test to where I put down some wet sand, mind you, which is really sticky, and some cat food. And I put it down extremely heavy, heavier than most homes are ever going to see. Now, whenever it ran over it the first time, you will notice that the little spinny brush occasionally will, knock a piece of food across the room. That's going to happen with any of these spinning brush type units. And I noticed that it had to take 2 passes before it got an area clean. Now, even after 2 passes, there was just a little bit of wet sand left, but this was an abuse situation. You typically are not going to see nothing this bad in a home. If you do, you may sweep it up first. But after 2 passes, it got the area almost completely clean. Mind you, this particular instance right here was with no mopping pad on it. If I'd have had a wet Swiffer pad on the back, I think the last little bit of the sand would have been picked up and carried off, and this area would have been 100% clean. So after it goes back and dumps the contents into the vac station, for example, there's a little lid that you can lift up. This holds quite a bit of material here. And after a while, what you can actually do is pop these up and out. And now you have a disposable bag that you can toss. So let's take a look here. You can see that has all dust, dirt, lint, cat food, sand, everything else in there. That is what it has pulled out after 2 cleanings. It's kind of caught in all the corners. And this is on a relatively clean house. My wife stays on top of cleaning this home, and we had that other robot running around before I got this particular model right here. So not a whole lot of debris in there, but yes, it is absolutely picking up the dust, dirt, lint, and hair. So as you can see, that bag is not ready to dispose of. By the way, whenever you get this kit itself, it comes with some extra bags, comes with several Swiffer mop attachments, and 1 true mopping pad attachment. Now, the first thing that I looked at whenever I see a brand that I don't recognize like this, it's not one of the big name brands, how are accessories? Because, well, things wear out. You're gonna need new rollers, brushes, pads, everything else. Well, I got it looking on Amazon, which is my favorite place to order all this stuff. There is tons of accessories for this. I'm talking full kits with everything that you can imagine, from new rollers to bags, all that stuff, for very affordable prices. So the parts are easy to get to and available. That was a big concern of mine. Speaking of replaceable parts, one thing that I really like, if you flip the vacuum itself over, it comes with 1 brush. I'm kind of used to 2, but I've noticed this unit will turn itself around. That brush is good for getting up next to the wall, and it will run the perimeter of a room. The one thing that I really like, this is night and day above our last unit, is the roller on the bottom. So you just pop this piece right off. So the roller comes right out, and it's very well built. Not only does it have your typical brushes, but it has this nice rubber sweeper. This is awesome for tile or hardwood or laminate type floors. It really does get the material up. Here's the other thing that I really like about this compared to the other model that we have. These end caps right here actually will pop off. So what that means is now I can pull the brushes out. I can pull the rubber pads out. By the way, you can change this roller really easy. That comes in one of the accessory kits. But it's inevitable that you're gonna get hair wrapped up around this. You're gonna get rope, whatever that may be. And the fact that you can take this apart and clean, wash this, put it right back together and untangle easily, that's not something that I've really seen in my limited experience now looking around at other models. So carpets, people are gonna be very curious about that. We're talking about, these are awesome for hardwood and laminate floors. So I did a couple of tests. We have a few different carpets here in the house. Your typical 1/2 to 3/4 inch rough carpet, it'll pull itself up and over no problem. Again, when it senses its own carpet, it ramps up the suction mode to do some extra cleaning. And we have one very, very large rug in here that is, I don't know, probably 1.5 inches, and occasionally it will pull itself up and over it, but a lot of times it will actually bump and hit the front sensor on the front of the unit, so it's thinking it's impacting something and it'll turn around. That's not that big of a deal. Now, if you have any light or loose carpets or anything that is really frilly or has something that the brush or roller could grab a hold and suck up, you do need to pull those up before you send it into vacuum mode. I also suggest you get any power cords up. And this is typical of any of these types of robot vacuums. So one important note, let's take a quick look at some heights here. With this all the way down, you're gonna be curious about this for your furniture there. It is 3 1/16 of an inch. So it has 3, if you have anything that's 3 1/8 of an inch or taller, this looks like it's gonna go right underneath that, no problem. And by the way, this is that front bump sensor. It goes all the way around if you're not familiar with these robots. So anytime you impact this area right here, it knows to stop, turn itself around, and continue to work the room. All right, so hopefully you enjoyed that review. Like I said, I've been running this a couple of weeks, and I've been highly impressed. The fact that it covers every square inch of the room and that mapping feature on the app, that's amazing. I love it. And I can go in and change anything anytime I want. Or for example, say if we have a room that something's going on, you can go right in that mapping mode and I can say, avoid this room altogether today. With the older unit that we had, you had to tote around magnetic strips and put in a doorway. It was very inconvenient. Now I can just go on an app and tell this exactly where I want it to go, clean the whole house, only clean this area, avoid this area, anything that I want to do. So whenever Yeedi reached out and said, would I like to do a review? I said, heck yeah, because this is actually going to fit the channel perfect, especially with the mess that I'm making, and this is absolutely home related. I said, hey, would y'all be interested in giving away one of these to a viewer? They jumped to the opportunity, said absolutely no problem. Yes, we're gonna give one of these right here, Yeedi Vac Maxes away. So if you wanna win one of these, all you have to do is leave a comment down on the bottom of the video. So long story short, we post these videos on YouTube and on Facebook. So here's the way that I'm gonna pick a winner. By the way, the official rules are down in the video description. You need to read those before you apply. So I'll use what's called a random comment picker. You basically post the video and I'll click on it. It will download all the comments off the Facebook and off the YouTube video, pick one winner from each, and then I'll take those two names, one from Facebook, one from YouTube, put in another comment picker and let it, you got a 50-50 shot there at that point, let it randomly pick. This will all be as random as possible. Again, the rules will be in detail down there on the bottom. I also have to say YouTube nor Facebook sponsors these giveaways. This is simply sponsored by us, the Kelley's Country Life, and by Yeedi. They are providing the vacuum itself right here. So a big thanks to them for doing that. A huge thanks for sending this out. This is gonna get so much use in this house. I'm already in love with it. I think it does an excellent job. And again, thank you to them for sending one out to y'all. Good luck. Don't forget to apply. Drop that comment down there and we'll pick a winner here soon. So thank y'all for watching. If you enjoy these types of videos, I love making review videos, especially on things that fit our homesteading type lifestyle or the home that itself. And I love being able to do giveaways and give back to y'all for watching. But if you like it, hit that thumbs up, subscribe to the channel. Hey, leave a comment down there. It really does help. It makes a huge difference on these algorithms that looks at channels and says, hey, people are showing interest in it. Let's recommend this video across our platform even more. Catch you on the next video.